Okay, so I figured I would record this so I can post it up. So I want you to just take a look at the screen. It'll be easier to tell what I'm doing. And then sometimes I'll show you guys what it is I'm handling. I have this piece of canvas, just like what we did when we made that last pinch pot, or not pinch pot, slab pot. And we're gonna use it, but we're gonna use it, I'm not gonna give you a template this time. This time I'm gonna have you guys cut it yourself. So that means that you kind of have to know how to use a ruler, and I have noticed that a lot of times people think they know how to use a ruler, but then when they actually go and do it, they end up making things crooked and everything. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Jensen, you can have your phone because you're staring at it. Okay. So we're gonna make 5 block with 5 square shapes, and they're gonna be 3 by 3. So I'm gonna start by doing this. I'm gonna first grab my pencil that I forgot. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take my ruler. I'm gonna take my ruler and I'm gonna line it up at the bottom and make a mark at the 3 here. And I'm gonna make another mark at the other side of the paper. It doesn't have to be all the way over, but it should definitely be over at the other side more. And then I have these 2 marks, and I'm gonna match them up with my ruler and then make a line that connects them. That way it'll be 3 inches from the edge all the way through, because I made those 2 marks. Then I'm gonna make some 3-inch marks on the bottom here. I'm gonna mark off every 3, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, I'll have a little extra. And I want to do the same thing up on the top. As you're talking and not watching, I know you guys are going to be the ones to ask questions, so you should watch. Oh, I did this wrong. I did 15 instead. I did 16. So once I have that, you can see like I have these 2 marks for each one, and I'm just going to connect those 2 and make these little squares. You want them to be pretty even. And if you make them crooked, then you want to try to redo them. So if you see that one is coming out a little off, this one got a little, then make sure you get it right. So right now I have 6 squares, but I only need 5. I'm going to cut this out. So if you look at that rubric I gave you, this is the topmost thing. And it's all about cutting these out and measuring them correctly. So this is just the first step in using the scissors. You want to make it as clean as you can. Okay, so now I have some squares. So from here I want to make my slab. I'm going to roll it out. So you're going to use the thickness strips, just like we did with the other thing. And I'm going to give you guys a decent sized block of clay. Okay, so I've got my block of clay here, and I have my thickness strips, and I've got my rolling pin. So I'm just going to roll this out. You want to remember that you're going to need to put 5 of these squares on the slab. So you want to make it big enough that you can make it a perfect. The clay is a little on the harder side, it's a little older, unfortunately, but. You guys go to the gym, don't you? I hear you guys talk about it. So. Notice with the slab rolling, I keep flipping it over. That makes it way easier to, roll it out. Again, you want to keep rolling it with the rolling pin on the strips. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. So from here, guys with me, if you're not watching, I know you're not gonna remember what's happening, so I want you to watch. All right, so. So for the third thing on the rubric, it said once the slab is rolled, you're gonna add water to the surface, and you're gonna put all 5 of those little canvas squares on there with the white side down. So on these canvases, there's one side that's kind of on the tanner side and has a little bit of dots on it. And then the other side is whiter. You're gonna put the whiter side down because it'll stick better. And you wanna put them pretty close to each other. With just a little bit of room so you can cut them, that way you'll waste less clay. So that's that. Now ideally, once we've done this part, hopefully there won't be as much clay. I'll give you guys a little less than I took out for myself, but we want to let it harden to such a glue. So we might cut these out, but then leave them to stiffen up a little. So I'm just cutting them out. You want to try to be as careful as you can cutting them out so that they match. If they get like crooked or weird, then it won't work. So. So I've got my 5 things here. And so I carefully cut along the edges. And at this point, this is when I want to let it stiffen up a little. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna kind of show you the next steps without letting it stiffen up a little. If the canvas doesn't seem to want to stick, you can actually just roll it on there a little bit. Don't worry about that. So if it's falling off, just make sure it goes back on. So for the next part, this is when people might get a little confused because 4 of these are going to be sides of the box, and 1 of them is going to be the bottom. And we want the part of the box that's sitting up, that's open, to have a nice clean edge. We don't want it to look all rough and weird. So we're going to be cutting. We're going to have 1 square that we put off to the side, and the other ones we're going to cut on that 45-degree angle. I'm going to try to get it as close to 45 as you can and make it as even as you can. You're gonna leave one side. You're gonna leave one side without cutting it. And that's gonna be like the top part of the box that's open. So I'm gonna pick this edge that looks clean. You're gonna leave the canvas on for a while. These would be the kind of things that I would see laying out in my graduate studio. She'd have like, just like a bunch of shapes just sitting out. She would make a lot of pretty cool things, but some of them, they were like the rounded things, some of them were more geometric, like anything now. But we can do a ton of stuff. I actually have a pot that I want to show you guys. I'll show you guys tomorrow. Some of you guys might have seen it. It's the one that's like kind of the star shape. Did anybody see that one on right before we left? All right, I'll show you later. It came out pretty cool, but it's kind of a crazy shape. All right, so I'm gonna save these little pieces of clay so I can make something to help keep the seams together. So I have my 4 sides here, and one side is not on an angle, the other one's are. So this is where I'm gonna slit and score those parts so that I can put them together. So I've got my snip. So the slip is here, and I'm gonna be scoring up the edges. And you want to do that for all of your edges, but we're going to do it in a certain way. We're going to put 2 together at a time. I'm trying to do this fast, guys, so like it would be, you won't have to like sit through something long, but don't want to cut corners. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 and 2 together. So I'm going to make 2 walls that look like this. They're kind of like a V shape together. So I'm going to make one with these 2, and I'm going to do that with the other 2 as well. So I'm going to put some slip in there. And remember, you want to make your slip and your scoring nice and rough so it sticks together. And I'm going to just push it together. And it would work better if it was a little stiffer. But like I said, I just wanted to show you how to do this as quickly as I can. Then on the inside of that seam, I'm going to make one of those little worm things that I can then smooth into that seam and reinforce it. So I've got one wall. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other 2. So while I'm doing this, I just wanted to mention, I was over the break, I was looking at Google Classroom, and I noticed that most of you guys didn't upload pictures for the practice pinch pot or the nature inspired one. And I had made it due for today because some people's were still in the kiln. So after I'm done with this, I'm gonna have you guys make sure you do that so that you guys can get treated. The quarter is almost over, if you can believe it, so I want to make sure I get those grades in. And it's hard for me to tell who's without having you guys upload. Right, so I'm gonna flip and score these guys. And push them together. And reinforce the inside a little bit. All right, so now I have 2 and 2 of the walls, and they're going to go together and make this square. So I'm going to slip and score the edges here. Well, I already scored them, but I'm just going to add a little bit of slip. Them together. And hopefully they come out looking more or less like a square. So because we have the canvas on there, that's gonna help to support it a bit. And then later on, when we take it off, we can fix up the seams, from the outside and make them look a little bit cleaner. So at this point, guys, we walked in. You know who's in a lot of you? Believe me, I'm trying to go fast. So from here, we've got the four sides. I'm gonna reinforce those things on the inside. And I promise I'm almost done. The only thing we need to do is put the bottom on. So from here, we're gonna flip it over. So the edges that we want to be facing up, the ones we want to look clean, are gonna be facing down. That'll kind of flatten them out a little bit. And we're gonna score all of these sides, which should all be cut on a 45-degree angle. And then we're gonna take the bottom part, and we just gotta cut those on a 45-degree angle. Why does it be better if it was stiffer, is because you wouldn't get this like kind of like stretching out as you're cutting. Okay, so I'm gonna score this. Almost there. Okay, so I'm gonna add some slip. This thing. And here's like one of the final steps. So if you are chatting, you should watch, so you see what it's gonna be looking like at the end. I have this thing upside down, it's scored, I have a little slip on both sides. And I'm gonna put that on the bottom. And push it down lightly, so I don't smash this whole thing. And kind of pull it together. And from there, you can reinforce it on the inside with those little worms. But notice that the edges here, except for the stupid piece of sticker, are a little flatter from having it upside down. So if you want to make it even flatter, you can tap it. And from here, you can kind of refine it. Like I said, I need to reinforce it on the inside. I'm just gonna do a little bit of that. But from here, you'll need to put your name on it. You can put it on the inside of the box if you want, or you can put it on the outside once you've taken the canvas off. I'm gonna skip reinforcing all of this just to show you guys how it might look once you're kind of done. I'm gonna peel this off. Again, yours is gonna be stiffer, so it won't be like coming apart as well. So you would peel off these and then you would push the edges together and refine them. And you can even like take a piece of take part of this and tap it on the table to kind of give it more of a geometric clear edge. And then I'll have you guys decorate it by incising it or adding some things to it. But basically this is what you'll get, is a box that you can then use for whatever, put pencils in it, put I don't know, snacks in it, whatever. So this is just the general idea. Again, we're gonna do this in a little bit of a slower process so you guys can get this a little stiffer and make it work a little bit better for you, but this is the general idea. So that's gonna be our next like main thing. That's it. This is really important. You guys made the practice pinch spot and you made the nature inspired pinch spot. Those need to be taken photographs of and they need to be handed in. So, I'm gonna stop this meeting and show you guys what I'm talking about here.